Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks. Y'all, this reading is giving me the energy of fine china versus paper plate. Now, you know, when you pull out the fine china, this means that like there's a special occasion happening. This is the type of dinnerware that is more refined. And so fine china is generally going to be more expensive, and that's due to its quality, its craftsmanship, its beauty, its value. Fine china is delicate and smooth. When you think about your body and when you think about your life, I want you to consider yourself to either be fine china or a paper plate. Now, the difference between you being fine china and a paper plate is really about the quality and the condition of your heart. And so if your heart is at peace, the peace is what gives life to your body. When your body has life, this means that your vessel, this means that you carry a certain level of significance and value. When your heart is at peace, it reminds you of your proximity and your closeness to God. If the Most High was to have a signature, like if everywhere the Most High has been, if the Most High was to sign its name to represent that I have been there, the peace that you carry is the remnants. It's the residue of the Most High being in your life. When the Most High is in your life, you're like fine china. You can be used for special occasions. Your value has gone up. Your stock has gone up. But before you recognize that you are fine china, you first have to live a couple of cycles as a paper plate. So y'all, fine china, you don't just eat anything off of fine china. There are certain meals that feed you a certain kind of way. In the middle of the reading, I have a handmade card. It says controlling or limiting forces taught you that you are insignificant and valueless to deter other forms of intelligence from tapping into you. So you have a pure heart. Because you have a pure heart, the Most High can pour intelligence into you. The Most High can pour a mission. The Most High can give you an anointing. Like you can carry a divine calling because you're fine china, because of the significance that you carry. There are controlling or limiting forces that don't want you to know that you are carrying the consciousness and the intelligence of a 5, a 6, a 7-course meal. There are some controlling or limiting forces that wants you to believe that you are only a paper plate that can carry peanut butter, jelly, and hot dogs, right? And so listen, when you eat, sometimes the food can sustain you. Sometimes your belly just gets full to the point that you're not hungry. Something about your heart, your vessel, your life, your existence reveals that the Most High has been there first because of the peace that you carry, but also like you are so refined that you can be trusted with a higher form of intelligence. The Most High can tell you shit that it can't tell other people. The Most High can give you missions that other people can never carry. A lot of people are walking around here like paper plates. The quality of the food that they carry, it is enough to get you to stop being hungry, but it doesn't really sustain you. It doesn't feed the body. All right, y'all. So here's the thing. I do have a new deck. And in this deck, I have like 4 spiritual figures. I have Hades, Lilith, Abraham, and Set. Now, Lilith and Set are coming out in this reading as paper plates, but they're only paper plates because of the condition of their heart. And then you have Abraham and you have Hades. And the reason why Abraham and Hades are fine china, it is because of the type of food that is on their vessel. Meaning, when you eat what Abraham gives you, when you eat what Hades gives you based on this reading, it is going to sustain your body. It is going to give your body life. If you eat what Set and Lilith gives you in this reading, if you eat off of the paper plates that they give you, this means that your body will experience some type of rot. This really centers around envy. Somebody envies the fact that you are fine china and your life is a special occasion. The food that you carry, the wisdom, the knowledge, the intelligence that you carry, when people eat you, when people eat your energy or experience your energy, you are a special occasion. You refine people. You bring value. You bring intelligence. And it's only because of the peace and the condition of your heart. All right, I'm going to really jump into this reading. And so the very first card I pull is teacher. Okay, when we're talking about you being a teacher, this means that you have the ability to educate, inform, and instruct. So your fine china, the food on your plate, the food that fills your mind, the food that fills your heart, your body, your life and vessel, when people eat it, they are being educated, they are learning, they are growing, they are expanding, because something about what you carry instructs them. Okay? And so you're coming out as this teacher. But now we have the energy of Hades. Now this reading says that Hades is the Lord of riches. And so this is saying that you are a person, you are a teacher that instructs. The thing that you teach people most of all is to ignore pettiness. If you're going to be fine china, if you are going to carry something of significance, if you are going to recognize your own value, you have to ignore pettiness. You have to know the difference between unworthy distractions and things that really require your focus. Okay, because everything on your plate is going to make a difference, not only for those that consume or experience you, but also for the things that you eat and feed yourself. And so you are a difference maker. And so you only focus on the things that make a difference. This is why you can be trusted as fine china. This is why the Most High can use you for special occasions. This is why you refine people, because you don't eat petty things. You don't carry petty things, and you don't feed people petty things. Okay? And so you can be a plate of riches. The meal that you carry is going to be a meal that is slow cooked. The wisdom that you provide people, it is going to fill them to their core. Y'all, you being this type of teacher, this teacher that carries some type of riches, that is the very thing that gives you peace. But also, if you had a fucked up heart, you couldn't even have this position. So it's the quality of your heart that makes you this type of vessel. But then we got the energy of jealousy. Somebody doesn't like the fact that they're a paper plate and you're fine china. And so the food that you carry, the occasions that the Most High uses you for, these everyday paper plates feel some kind of way because they don't have the anointing. They don't have the calling. They didn't get the RSVP to go to the event. Y'all, because ain't nobody eating peanut butter and jelly and hot dogs at a white tablecloth type event. And so somebody gets so upset at the calling. Somebody gets so upset at the meal that you are called to serve in this life. And we also got the energy of somebody spying on you. You know how you get to a store and they're about to close down? You can tell when a store is opening versus when a store is closing. Anybody else worked in some type of food industry? You have a way that you open up your day for business, and then you have a closing shift when you put everything away. Y'all, you have somebody who is in the energy of watching and looking. They're trying to understand, are you open or are you closing? Like, are you getting ready for the event, or are you closing down because there's going to be no event? Somebody that is watching you is looking, they're recognizing that you are getting ready to open for a shift. You're getting ready to open up for business. And so they're watching you. You know, fine china is used for special occasions. It looks like you're getting ready for a special occasion. Somebody is so jealous of your peace. Your peace means that the Most High can use you at any time. Right? When you can sustain your peace, when you can remain balanced and you can move in self-control, that means you can get a mission 24/7. You never know. Now, when you don't have peace within yourself, you kind of got to get to a point of calm. You have to bring yourself to a point of balance so that the Most High can employ you to be this fine china that feeds people. Okay? And so somebody is committed to fucking up your peace, because when you are at peace, you are sweet success. Your version of sweet success in this reading says that you are a teacher, you're an instructor. So somebody doesn't want you to have class. Somebody doesn't want you to feed people these high quality meals, because you make them remember that they're significant. You remind them of their value. If you're eating off of paper plates all the time, and if the food that you're eating really doesn't take any time, thought, or effort, you don't really think that you're worth anybody's time, worth anybody's thought, or worth anybody's effort. Y'all, somebody is jealous of your peace and it puts them into action. Your peace commits somebody to performing a mission or a task against you. So now we have the energy of Lilith. Now, this reading describes Lilith as being a thief of life. Y'all, we know about the law of polarity. And so when we're talking about Lilith, like the dark energy of the feminine, all of that happens on a spectrum. And so the Lilith in this reading is showing up as being on a spectrum that is very dark. And so a thief of life is somebody that really pays attention to no borders. This is somebody that runs red lights willingly because they're just trying to get to the other side. And so this is somebody that wants something so much that they don't know a border. They don't know a boundary, right? This is somebody who consumes, and they don't consume because they're hungry. They don't consume because they want to be nourished or because they have a purpose. This is somebody that just eats to eat. This is a belly that is never satisfied. The energy of Lilith in this reading is like a bottomless pit. Y'all, so here you are, fine china, carrying meals, carrying consciousness and intelligence, right? Like you're carrying a special occasion. But you have Lilith who just wants to eat and eat and eat. And the thing that Lilith wants to eat off of in this reading is your peace. Y'all, but remember, your peace is your signature of God. Your peace reveals how close you are to the Most High. You can't carry peace if you're not close to God. And so Lilith wants to consume your peace, not because Lilith wants peace, but because Lilith is just a thief of life. If your peace gives you life, then you can continue to show up in value. You can continue to show up and have other meals or higher forms of intelligence tap into you. Y'all, if somebody eats away at your peace, you can't be reserved for these 5-star dinner events. The Most High can't use you if you have no peace. So this talks about you being against the spirit of Lilith, but it's only because somebody watched you long enough to feel jealous about the calling that you had. Somebody doesn't like the fact that you teach, you instruct. Y'all, you never have to formally open your mouth and teach anybody anything. Literally, the way you wake up and live your days, the way you walk out your life is a teaching moment. But your peace can trigger jealousy in people. Your peace can trigger envy because you can't buy it. The only way to get it is to get close to God. Not everybody wants to stop consuming to get to God. Not everybody wants to stop stealing. Now, the type of spirit or the energy of Lilith, this bottomless pit, this reading is describing a Queen of Cups as being the carrier of this Lilith spirit, right? So the Queen of Cups is typically somebody who's like, this could be a mother, but this is somebody who's intuitive, who's emotionally mature, but they can read your feelings. They can read your feelings so well that they know how to, they know what to do. They know what to say. They know how to comfort and nurture you. And so some people want to nurture you back to health, but this Lilith spirit wants to consume you until you have nothing left. But it's not because they really want anything. It's just because they're addicted to consuming. And so there is some type of controlling or limiting force that moves through the energy of a Queen of Cups, not because they nurture, but because they have the ability to suck life out of you. And so you have somebody carrying the Lilith spirit in a Queen of Cups type of energy. And they don't like the fact that you know you're significant. They don't like the fact that you have recognized your own value. Like knowing that you're fine china and not a paper plate is what causes or triggers the spirit of Lilith to rise in people. Okay, so now we have the energy of a natural disaster. When you start moving as fine china, when your consciousness expands, when the Most High can promote you to be a vessel that feeds people something special or something different, the envy that starts to feed or the envy that starts to rise in another causes their bones to rot. You being fine china almost turns somebody else back into a paper plate. As long as you are being consumed, as long as somebody is eating off of your peace, you don't have access to it. They do. Stopping you from living in a state of peace is what gave somebody some type of power or control over you. You are limited as long as you don't know your fine china. Y'all, this says that in this reading, you are going through the energy of some type of shedding. Because you're experiencing sweet success and you don't deal with pettiness, this means that you are hitting like a metamorphosis. Something is being completed. A new cycle is opening. You're setting higher goals because the Most High can put higher callings or higher forms of consciousness into your mind. The Most High is like, you know what? I got this big event that I'm trying to cater, and I need you to be the vessel that everybody eats off of. And it's only because your peace, y'all. So Lilith wants to consume you. And if somebody can eat away at your peace, then y'all, you literally can't. You go back to paper plate status. You just do everyday type shit, right? But that's not how the reading goes. This reading says that at some point you cause a natural disaster for Lilith, meaning you destroy the spirit of Lilith that operated in another. And you will know that you destroyed this type of spirit because you started to walk in the energy of Abraham. Now, this reading describes Abraham as the justice of pandemonium. And so Abraham represents truth, wisdom, moral integrity. The very battle that attempted to consume your peace, the fact that you held on to it means that the next meal that the Most High puts in you is going to be similar to Abraham, that type of spirit. Y'all, you have gotten clarity about your mission. My handmade card says, the next time you feel worthless, ask yourself if you're just in the wrong place. When you were going through the battle with those paper plates, when you didn't know what kind of vessel you were, when you didn't understand that your consciousness was really a reflection of a higher form of intelligence, right? When you really understood that you had some type of significance to the Most High, this is when your mission activates. Y'all, this means that you only were a paper plate because you were around paper plates. You were in the paper plate aisle. You needed to go over to the household aisle where they had the porcelain plates and bowls and mugs. You needed to be with the other things that were delicate. You needed to realize that you could be broken, that you could be shattered. You could be, but the type of intelligence that you carry means that you protect your heart so much so that you always remain in a place of peace, meaning like if you can't be broken, then you're always at peace. And so you start to get clarity about your mission. You once were this teacher, not that you're not anymore, but because you never deal with petty shit, it's like you could be elevated. As soon as you're elevated, the spirit of Lilith is like, well, I can't control you anymore. I can't limit you. I was using you, to serve finger food. You were never supposed to know that you were supposed to have an entire dinner arrangement just based off of the quality of your vessel. You are a refined being. When you felt like less, it's because you were around less, not because you're less. You're coming out in this reading as the Empress. This Empress carries the energy of being the matriarch. Y'all, you don't have to be a woman, but this is saying that something about you is supposed to create. Something about you is supposed to fertilize. You carry an authority of abundance. You carry an abundance of peace. You are an influential being. When people eat off of you, they will never be the same. You were bullied for having value. You were bullied for being significant. Can you imagine a whole paper plate bullying you because you're fine china? That's what this reading is saying. And as long as you agreed to the bullying, like as long as you felt embarrassed, as long as you felt like the gossip was true, it kind of put you in a state of unwillingness. Like, I'm not willing to learn my value. I'm not willing to know that I'm significant because I'm just oppressed by this bullying. Instead of recognizing that, I'm just in the wrong aisle. I'm in the paper goods aisle. This is not my section. Y'all, you recognize recognized that you were just in the wrong part of the store. And so you moved over to the proper energy, the proper consciousness, and the proper mindset. You're moving in the energy of a celebration. Like this is the moment where you move as the Empress because you have clarity about your mission. You have clarity about your assignment. You are the bringer of wisdom. This means that when people eat or consume off of what you bring them to a state where they are free from confusion. You allow people to easily understand things, but it's only because of the consciousness that you carry in your vessel. Y'all, one of the things that you may have had to struggle with, possibly, is procrastination. The Empress is supposed to create things. If you have difficulty with getting and or staying motivated, if you experience some type of procrastination on your projects or on your tasks, this is directly connected to your solar plexus chakra. Your chakra, your solar plexus, is about your power. Where am I going to put my power? When you don't have enough power to employ your mission, what is the problem there? Y'all, this reading says that at some point you had to understand how to overcome procrastination. You had to understand how to stay motivated. But the only reason why you even had to experience that type of lesson is because you were up against the spirit of Set. Y'all, Set was the brother of Isis and Osiris. And so you conquered the spirit of Lilith that wanted to consume your peace. But this also says that you had to conquer the spirit of Set that wanted to destroy your healing. Y'all, how many moments in life do we have the opportunity to experience a broken heart? Okay? When your heart is broke, it distorts your peace. When your heart is healed, your peace is restored. And so the spirit of Set talks about pretty much somebody wanting to undermine or overthrow, like somebody not really liking the position that you're in, somebody not liking the rank or the calling on your vessel. And so again and again and again, every time the Most High tries to drop intelligence in you, every time the Most High tries to give you a mission or reveal to you something about your own value or describe to you why you're significant, you've got this energy of Set who's coming against you to overthrow you. It's almost like the phone is ringing. The phone is ringing. And as soon as you go pick up the phone, you have somebody that almost wants to take it out of your hand. They want to hang it up. They want to be really loud. Like they don't want you to hear the conversation that the Most High is trying to have. This is what I mean about overthrowing or undermining. So first you had to heal with all the ways in which people were trying to break you. The Most High is going to give you a bright idea. This bright idea is going to be innovative. It's going to be new. It's going to inspire you. These bright ideas are only coming to you because you are fine china. You yourself are refined. When I fill your spirit with these bright ideas, when I tell you about what you're capable of, you feed people. You carry the brightness to another, right? You take action on your ideas. And so this says that you literally were dealing with spiritual energy that didn't want you to receive the bright idea. And so if you had difficulty completing a task, like the Most High told you to do something, that you've gotten this mission, that you're supposed to be motivated, but it's so hard to hold the power that you need to complete the project because of the momentum of what is against you. That's that spirit of Set that this reading says you had to conquer. You're coming out as a sweetheart. To be described as a sweetheart, it means that you're kind, you're considerate, you're thoughtful, you're generally a pleasant person, and you're just really easy to be around. Something about your spirit, it almost you trigger people. So not only your peace, but like the sweetness of you. Y'all, some people just taste you and get a damn cavity, right? And it's not because like you're not sweet and you're not kind, but like there's just a sourness and a bitterness in them that they just can't really handle you. And so you had to heal from the spiritual attacks. If you have dealt with being motivated and procrastinating on your projects, this is something that you have healed from. But you had to heal from it first by recognizing that you were carrying something. You had to recognize that you were opening up for business and not closing down for business. Then you had to conquer the spirit of Lilith that just wanted to consume your peace. When you won that battle, you realized, I am not nobody's paper plate. Like the Most High really needs me to eat a quality meal so that I can feed a quality meal. And the next time I feel like I have no value, it's because I'm in the wrong damn aisle. It's because I'm in the wrong room. I'm at the wrong job. I'm at the wrong family. When people bully you for being refined, it is a reflection of the fact that they are not refined. That is the lesson you had to learn. But this is something that also slowed you down in your process of building, not because you're not a builder, not because you're not fertile or you want to procrastinate, not because you don't know how to be motivated. There was just like other levels to the battle that you had to get through first. And so the very thing that you could be healing is your solar plexus, like you're getting your power back, you're getting your mind back. And when I say that you're getting your mind back, I'm meaning that the intelligence that the Most High is going to drop into you, it is going to be a bright idea. But the energy that you need to pursue these bright ideas, this is the energy that you now have access to, because the other battle, the one that made you feel like you had no worth or no value, has ended. When you recognize your worth or your value, that battle ends. When you know that you are fine china, you are being used for a special occasion, now you can start to understand, so what is the event that the Most High wants to use me for? What is the meal that I'm going to serve? When is, you know what I mean? Like, so y'all, Abraham and Hades, you being this teacher of justice with wisdom and truth, you always choosing the higher ground, you not choosing the lesser, is a reflection of your promotion, of the experience you have been through moment after moment. You don't have to be at peace. You could totally have a broken heart. Everything that you've endured is enough for you to be envious, jealous, and at rot. But you never did that. You were up against those spirits, but you never became those spirits. Y'all, you can be trusted to serve some bomb-ass meals. And it's because of your delicacy, your gentleness. It's not because you can't break. You're still porcelain. You're still crystal. You can break. But the peace of God, the closeness of God is what keeps you whole. But you almost had to recognize that mentally so that the events that you lived through didn't shatter you. If you're shattered, nothing can fit inside of your vessel. Nobody can eat off of a broken plate. It's dangerous, right? So this is saying you had many things that tried to break you. And you may have dealt with setbacks where you didn't have access to your energy, like you couldn't create because you were still at war. But you won the war. You've gotten clarity. You understand why you dealt with the bullying. You understand why you dealt with people trying to restrict or obstruct you. Every natural disaster that you survived, it was a key step in your metamorphosis. It was a moment that taught you, I am not made of Dixie. You understand? Like, I'm finely sculpted. All right, y'all. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.